All right, all right, all right. It is time for King Firehawk's podcast world. I am King Firehawk, and we're about to have a session of cards, comics, and pro wrestling stuff. All the things that your good old man, your boy King Firehawk, is into. And you can leave comments below, subscribe, questions, answers, thoughts on anything we're doing here or anything on your mind in general. You can also listen to the podcast that is on Spreaker.com, Spotify.com, and Apple iTunes, as well as here on YouTube. I am King Firehawk, and you can tweet us also at FirehawkNJOU812. And we're going to do, as is a lot of fun to me, as I see everybody on YouTube doing this. And of course, I'm just following the lead, but putting my own little spin on it, so to say. I love when people rip open packs. I love watching the new and the old. Coming up in a couple of weeks, well, not a couple of weeks, but a couple of shows, we'll be ripping open some more O-Pee-Chee box, Hobby Box 22-23 hockey. We'll be doing some Topps baseball, some wrestling cards, things of that nature. But when I was at the baseball card store the other day, the guy had on sale the Score NHL Hockey Series 1 1991 hockey for $10 for a whole box. And I've been having fun with it, but what I like to do is have a theme to these pack breaks. Because on these cards here, let's face it, if the box is $10, they have a Find a Bobby Orr special inserts from back in the day. They have the stars and the legends, which there are plenty of in here. Cards look pretty cool. We're looking, though, for the NHL's greatest fighters, dirtiest players, biggest jerks, biggest sons of bitches, SOBs, and this guy's who the Goon Squad, so to say. And what I like to do is we'll open up 3 packs right now, 3 packs, and we'll find out who ends up on the top 3 stars for the Goon Squad today, and we'll crown a champion. So without further ado, let's get started. We have 3 packs here, right? So we'll put that one over here, that one over here, and we'll start with this one. Now, I will save you time and effort by... I know everyone's ripping up in front and all that, but I like to do it this way. So here's the pack. Let's get rid of the wrapper. All right. And here's who we got. Eddie Olczyk. Good old Ed Olczyk. I remember him on the Jets. Let's see if we could see. He was a broadcaster now. All right. Played on the Rangers for a little bit. And he was a player I like. So he's going to go in the King Firehawk like this guy pile. And we'll end up saving him. Mike Vernon. Oh, wow. There's good old Mike Vernon. That's a cool Flames jersey. The keeper pile. Dino Ciccarelli on the Caps. Cool action photo in the Caps. I always hated the Washington Capitals. Not a big fan of them. But Dino Ciccarelli was a good player. I was a Ranger fan, or am, and I am still a Devils fan as well. I know. I explain it every time because I get such heat on Twitter for this. I grew up a Rangers fan. I was 10 when they came to New Jersey. And I just ended up, because it was easier to go on a lot more games, a lot more inexpensive, got closer. And it was the reason why I got hit by the puck in my very first game, broke my middle finger. Here comes a nice cough for you that I don't edit out my stuff, so. All right. Yeah, let me take a swig of beer. Anyway, here is Brian Bellows. And I love that old school Minnesota North Star jersey. Oh, that looks so sharp. That was pretty cool. Brian Bellows. So he'll stay in the King Firehawk's going to keep. Good pack so far. Up here's good old Tom Barrasso. Pretty cool. Coming up now. Paul Yazerbeat. I remember him. Red Wings. We'll keep Paul. As I said, you know, you're not going to get rich or die trying with these cards, but you're going to have a lot of fun. Coming up next to you. Whoop, knocked the camera there. Coming up next, Rick Zombo, defenseman of the Red Wings. I must say, I don't remember him too well. So he goes in the King Firehawk doesn't remember pile. I'll have to look him up. Coming up next in the pack, from a team I despise, the Flyers, Murray Barron. Oh, by the way, you'll notice that I completely butcher the language of pronouncing these guys' names. So I'll do my best. If you have a hat suggestion or want a hat in the videos here, I take them. Today we have Sweden, the Olympic hockey team. One fan wrote in that, hey, put a Sweden hat on there. I go, all right. We got the Elliott Sadler, number 9, Hooters, represented. The old Jack Daniels, number 7, NASCAR. John Drews to the Capitals. I do not remember him. That's pretty cool looking jersey, those old caps. We got the old school Pittsburgh Pirate hat. And if you can see it, we got the Jersey All-Pro Wrestling Independent Wrestling hat. Kind of slightly off camera. Here's a guy, Bob Sweeney, with Boston. You know, he racked up about 100 penalty minutes, got in a couple fights here and there, but I wouldn't call him one of the toughest SOB fights villains that we're looking for. He's not in a Bob Probert type fighting league, I'd say. So he's not a candidate for that today. All right. Next up is a guy that I always thought looked cool as hell. Dirk Graham. Look at that. He just looks like a tough bastard from the Blackhawks. Look how cool he looks there. And we'll keep him. Next up, from the dreaded New York Islanders, as I never liked Islanders, Craig Ludwig. And I don't remember him too well. Need to look him up again. Coming up next for you, from the Winnipeg Jets. Here's the first name I'm going to really butcher. Fredrik Olason, I guess. Pretty cool. Next up, from the Detroit Red Wings, Brian McCrimmon. Cool looking card. Coming at you from the Flames, Paul Fenton, who I do not remember at all. And that completes the first pack of the 3 that we opened. We have no villains yet. But that's a pretty cool pack to look at. It was fun. There's a couple keepers for my personal faves. A couple guys I'll look up. You know, you can't go wrong having fun while you're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs. Carolina and Florida in the East going to play for the right to go to the Stanley Cup. That's just awful to me. All right, next pack to open. Here we go. Annie Mogg. That's a cool action photo of Annie Mogg. Boston. We'll keep that one. I like the goalies. Oh, here's my first legend of the packs. I have his Edmonton Oilers jersey. Paul Coffey, who's been around and was around everywhere, man. He goes right into Super Legends right there. Speaking of legends, one of my all-time faves from the Detroit Red Wings, Steve Yzerman. That's a pretty cool action photo. Did a good job with these Score 91s, I think. Coming up next, a guy I remember well. He was a fighter for a little bit with penalty minutes, but not a villain yet. Doug Gilmour. Look at him on the Flames there. Well, he got into some fights, got in there, but he's not kind of the type we're looking for our villain pack. But he goes right here. Doug Gilmour. All right, coming at you next. Oh, this guy was a fighter. He had 200-something points, I remember. Gino Odick from the Canucks. Look at Gino right there. He looks like he just wants to skate to fight you. So he goes in right here for consideration of the fighting villains of the pack. Up next, from the St. Louis Blues, Bob Basin, who I do remember. It's another guy who fought. Didn't crack the 200 penalty minutes, so he's not really the villain we're looking for. Next up from the Caps, Dmitry Kristish. Oh my God, I'm butchering that name. Who I don't remember too well. All right. Up next, again, a badass jersey that I love. Right wing for the North Stars, Mike Craig. Look how cool that jersey is. I got a North Stars hat. I got to get the jersey. We're going to keep him up as a New York Ranger guy. And this guy racked up penalty minutes and was a fighter. Joey Malmlet. He's going in contention. So here's the villains right now. Up next, defenseman from the Canucks, Tom Curvers. No recollection of him. Again, if you remember anybody I'm casting aside here that I got to go check out, send me a note and let me know. Oh, I remember this guy. Here's a defenseman from the Blues. He racked up almost 300 penalty minutes. He did fight because he's the Butcher. Garth Butcher. He's in contention for the fighters. There they are. Up next, just got fired as the New York Rangers head coach, Gerard Gallant. Look at him in the Red Wings there. Rangers lost a tough series of 2-0 to the up-and-coming Young Devils, and that cost him his job. Defenseman Larry Murphy. I never liked Larry Murphy from the Penguins. I remember him. Oh, here's a no-doubter. One evil SOB from the Devils in this one. Claude Lemieux. His rep speaks for himself. And when he was on Detroit, or when he was in Colorado, rather, his fights with Detroit and all those guys, legendary to even have a documentary on ESPN on it. Oh, that's a good one right there. And up next, from the Toronto Maple Leafs, who said bye, bye, bye tonight, Mike Kruszelensky. And I'm probably mispronouncing that. I don't remember Mike. But that Maple Leafs jersey looks badass, don't it? All right. We have one more pack to go in our 3-pack pull from the 1991 NHL Score. As we said, we are looking to award the biggest villains and find out who is the toughest of the pack pull. Who is the tough SOB that we're looking for? And here we go. It looks like we open a pack with some doubles. Here's Steve Yzerman again in my legend pile again. Here is Doug Gilmour again. Gino Orlak, who we already have as a contender. From the Jets, this goalie, Rick Tabernacki. Again, I don't know if I'm butchering the name or not. You have to let me know. Here again, I think we called him out already. From the Canucks, Robert Crone. Here's a Vienza Trophy winner, Ed Belfour. The great one, but it's a sidecar. Side card. King Firehawk hates the side cards. Just do. But there's the great one, Wayne Gretzky. Hurting every Edmonton Oiler fan ever was when he went to the Kings. They did not want him to go. Up next. This is a good one. He played forever, Ed Belfour. And back-to-back, because the Jennings Trophy went to Ed Belfour. We have another side card. Don't like the side card, but it's Guy Lafleur. Hello, I'm Guy Lafleur. But if I'm an American guy, I'd be, hey, my name is Guy Lafleur. All right, from the Flames, Paul Raymond. As we dwindle down here, from the Capitals, Mikhail Tarayanov. Very cool action photo of him. I gotta look him up again. I don't remember him too well, but that was a pretty cool looking card. Up next, from the Canucks, Greg Adams. Up next, from the Islanders, there he is, Ray Ferraro. I gotta give him his props, but I never liked Ray Ferraro. And last but not least, from the Red Wings, Doug Crossman. Don't cross the Crossman. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we are waiting for. There are 4 contenders for the champion, for the fighter, for the villain, for the number 1, 2, 3 star villains of the pack. The Ultimate Fighters. You know, we didn't pull a Probert. We didn't pull a Ty Domi in this one. Or Dale Hunter, who to me is the dirtiest player in the game. But let's go in order. Number 3, King Firehawk says, 3rd star of the game, Garth Butcher. So he's going to go as the 3rd star right here. Second star of the game, Troy Mallette. He's no Joey Koser, but he's Troy Mallette. And he will mess you up too. Got into plenty of fights on that Ranger team. Now, the question becomes, who is King Firehawk's Score NHL 1991 Random Hockey Packs poll? Rip open. Number one fighter, badass, hated, loved, depending where you're from. Villain, goon, king of the goons, the champion. Number one star. Sorry, Gino. Claude Lemieux. You either love this guy or hate him. There's no tweeners. And he's done some dastardly deeds. So I don't know. That's a couple of Coors Light in me trying to say that. But he is definitely a great villain to pull from this pack. This was pretty cool. He is the champion. Number one star. As I said, this was pretty fun. I like opening up the stuff like this where you're not worried about the price. You're not worried about how much you just made. All those things. You know, this is just for fun and for a hobby. And you get to have a good time looking up the old guys. So this is pretty cool. All right. Leave your comments below. Anything you want to say. Any name I butchered. Do you agree with who we gave the championship to in this poll? Yes or no? Tweet us at FirehawkNJOU812. Check us out on Spreaker, Apple iTunes, and of course, where else? YouTube. And I'm always forgetting one. I don't know. You'll find us. I'm King Firehawk, you're not. Catch you later.